God, this is Alex Murdaugh. I need police and an ambulance immediately.
Looking back, sometimes I feel like I'm living a life I never was supposed to live.
There have been so many, there's been documentaries, there's been so much news coverage. You actually had, Manny Matney, the real journalist involved in the story, working with you on this. But what went into your individual research for your roles?
I mean, working with a dialect coach, talking to Mandy, figuring out little things like what kind of makeup did she use? What does she like to make for breakfast? All of this, but also kind of doing a deep dive. I'm not a psychologist, but doing a deep dive on personality disordered people who are charming, manipulative, deceptive, and then on the other side, and also addiction and all of that.
Victims of the person.
And the codependent.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, it's like there's a do list and don't list in Al-Anon, like don't do these things. And in AA too. And I'm like, they're doing all the don'ts at the beginning. And then when does she start waking up? What is it like to realize you don't know who you're with? So dissecting kind of personality disorder and the person who's with a manipulative, deceptive, pathological person.
How about you, Jason?
I had to get myself in the ballpark. There was going to be no prosthetics because of timing and just, I wanted him to be a authentic person, that you could really relate to, not somebody who was distant. So I started eating a lot, as well as I did the accent work. And then the other thing I loved is I listened to that trial so many times before I watched it. I decided I'm going to understand his thought process or hear it in his own words.
I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Pawpaw.
The trial is fascinating. It's days. I mean, it's so lots to get through, but I listened to it, and then you start to hear him without seeing it, without seeing the benefit, and then I could see there's something going on there, right there, and then you start, justifying that the world's against me as Alec. Nobody appreciates the generosity that I give them as I spend all everybody else's money. Nobody sees the love that I give her, the diamond bracelet, but the hugs and I started to feel that everyone's against me, and is it kind of moving into, and as like Patricia did, I read a book on, immature parents. I thought of, what's it like for Paul? What's it like for, that I came from, very mature parents, or I was a very mature parent, and the selfishness regarded with that. And all of a sudden I woke up one day and I had, black eyes and weighed 240 pounds and, and I was, my feet were swollen but I had a loving wife who was hiding my drugs.
A support system,
Where's my drugs?
I know.
You happen to run into any of Mr. Alex' medication?
And you think he's taking it again?
What else is there that I don't know about?
We got to have each other's backs. Family first.
See, that's such an Al-Anon kind of a thing. They say, like, don't dump out their alcohol, don't do this, don't cover for them. So they're in this weird dance of the dysfunctional family.
There's something you said that really just stuck with me. No prosthetics. I have to tell you, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Watching this,
Hair and makeup did an extraordinary job.
you were unrecognizable, both in physical appearance and your voice.
Yeah.
Y'all know me. I'm an honest man.
Oh, you cheating bastard.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
How long did the process take to gain the weight, and then how long are you in the hair and makeup chair for?
2 hours in hair and makeup. The wig's extraordinary. The makeup was beautiful. Balances of reality. I mean, you have to accept this man straight up. This is your Alec, And look, I might be close to it or far away. We got pretty close to it. But at the same point, you get into it. And then you lean into that believability, and then you lean into us. And then you lean into Patricia, and you lean into this world that we are. And then you go through this wild family ride, and you end up with something at the very beginning. But you have to accept us as we are straight up. And it's based in, in what we create and what's here. And then you move on with it. And you lean into him rather than keep away from him.
And they have to love each other.
Yeah.
Even though there's all of this dysfunction.
And see why she loved me. The humor, the funny, the magnetism.
But Patricia, what was your reaction the first time you saw Jason on set as Alex Murdaugh? Though, were you kind of blown away?
I was totally blown away. And there were moments where we'd be shooting where I'd look up and he looked exactly.
So did you.
exactly like him. It was like,
There's still an appeal going on for Alec with his trial. There's a lot unresolved. What kind of responsibility do you feel taking on these characters when it's events that didn't happen that long ago? It's still kind of ongoing.
Enormous responsibility. I mean, you don't pick it up lightly, I think it's to the effort that we put in, of course, It's, you try to attack things with grace and with some dignity and humility and effort, I think our effort shows that we care. And yes, it is ongoing, and there are people involved and around. I think this story humanizes it, though. It takes you beyond just the headlines and what you think you know, because at the end of it, justice is a very interesting notion, it really is. And there was no smoking gun, but yet he was there. And so it's just, look, I hope that it brings people closer to the reality of what he did and what transpired.
The Murdaughs tell you not to talk to me.
They have connections all the way up to the governor. I think we've only scratched the surface of what's going on here.
Absolutely. I mean, the murder of Maggie and the son Paul, it's so intense because the series opens with that scene, but we kind of have no idea what happened, even though this is based on a true story. Yes, it's the aftermath.
Yeah.
And then as we get further into the series, we do get to see that scene play out, and it's very it's violent and intense. And how was that emotionally?
part of what was interesting to me in my discovery of the story was finding it on social media, then watching him at trial, and then a big piece of evidence came out at trial that placed him at the location that
was the
didn't exist.
And he lied.
And to watch him lying there, having lied about not being there, and then having that revealed and watching him cover for that, it's kind of like the beginning, the aftermath, and then finding out the whole story. For me, it's like when he kills her, going by this
story that we know.
Even though she started to realize his whole thing's been unraveling, and even unravels much more even after she dies. But as it's unraveling and they start breaking apart, she doesn't, even up to the last second, ever think he's capable of that.
No, you don't ever walk around the corner and think there's somebody with an AR-15.
It's like, there's Paul and...
That's the horrific thing, though.
Wait, why are you holding a gun? It's not even coming together still.
Never clicked, yeah.
There's a simplicity of that, just quickly to add. And you can't move away from that. There's a deliberateness to what he did. There's a cold reality. We all know where we're getting. When you see it done simply, and it's not gratuitous, it's very simple, but you understand this man made a choice. And this is that choice. And then you, as Patricia said, you come to that point. It's just like, that's his son that clocks him like that, and that's his wife, and then it's too late. All their mistakes, all their responsibility, it's boom, it's moved to a different direction. And you have to see that without it being some mess, because it was not some big crazy. He put it on, took care of business.
I know you've been lying to me.
I'm the one who's gonna do it, not you! Me!
These Murdaugh men, you have to sacrifice a lot of things to make them the men that you know that they can be.